not going 7-9. Okay? I'm not going 7-9. Okay? 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 I'm not going 7-9. Okay?
Hi, and welcome to the LA Rams 2.0 show as presented by thegruelingtruth.net and brought to you by Gridiron Mo, an interactive football game app which pits you against other football fans across the country in predicting the next play within a live NFL game. Think you're smarter than the average Mo? See for yourself at Gridiron Mo through this website or at gridironmo.com. My name is Alex Davis. I'll be co-hosting the LA Rams 2.0 show as always. And as always, joining me as co-host is former Notre Dame, Buffalo Bills, and Los Angeles Rams great Tony Hunter. Happy holidays, Tony. How's it going?
Happy holidays to you, Oz. How's everything going for you?
It's okay. It's okay. Except for the a certain Rams 49ers game, which we'll talk about in a bit. I'm great. Today, Tony and I are joined by a special guest again, and I thank Tony for arranging this for us. We've got with us today Ron Brown, the Pro Bowler 8-year veteran of the NFL and a record-setting gold medal winner at the 1984 Olympic Games. Happy holidays to you, Ron, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good. The pleasure's all ours. Let's get right
into it. Definitely.
Let's get right into it, Ron. I wanted to ask you just something that strikes me about your career record. In researching before this podcast, I was looking at your record, and so looking at your athletic career, you start off at Baldwin Park High here in Southern California. You were in the actual 1984 Olympic Games, which was in Los Angeles. You played your entire career with the Los Angeles Rams, except for 1 year when you played with the Raiders, who were in Los Angeles at the time. You live in Los Angeles now. So I look at this, and then I see you went to school at Arizona State. How did that happen?
Well, I'm actually from L.A. I'm born and raised here. I'm from Inglewood, California. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I actually went to about 3 different high schools. Morningside was one of them, and Barn Park was another one. Then I went up north and went to a high school called Northgate up in the Bay Area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
not entirely.
I went to Arizona State though because I wanted to get away from L.A. for a little bit, and it was just far enough and just close enough to where it was comfortable. And as soon as I landed at A-State, I knew I need to be there.
But I'm sure that you were happy to begin your professional career back in Los Angeles.
Right, exactly, because I was drafted actually by the Cleveland Browns. So
right, and you know what, Ron, I wanted to get into that because, first of all, I want to thank you for being on our show. And I tell you what, I've done some background searches on guys that we were going to have on the show or whatever. But just kind of following your career, you've been a very busy man, and you've had a lot of success on the way. And I just want to congratulate you on that, Ron. But I noticed, we came out together then. We were actually drafted in '83 together. Is that correct?
Yeah, which was the best draft ever in the history of the NFL. Still to this day.
I think I would say so. Marino and John Elway and Eric Dickerson. That was a very good draft. But now you were drafted initially to Cleveland. Is that correct?
Yeah. They didn't have a first round pick, so I was their first pick in the second round.
Okay, what happened? Now I ended up going initially to the Buffalo Bills. I played 2 years there. I ended up with the Rams in '85, and you were there at that time. Now, did you happen to play for Cleveland, or what happened in that interim period?
what happened, they drafted me, then I went there, though. But back then, you couldn't have an amateur status and a professional status at the same time and to participate in the Olympics. So what I decided to do is I decided to take my chance on making the Olympic team. Because along my negotiation journey, there was a guy named Carl Lewis, who at the time was the fastest man in the world, and I beat him a couple of times. So I figured, let me give a shot at the Olympics.
Okay.
I'm really a track guy anyway. Track was really my passion.
Right, and you know what? When I first heard about you, when I got to the Rams, they were saying the track star Ron Brown is here. He's going to team up with Henry Ellert to be our wide receivers. And a lot of times, from my experience, the guys that ran track and converted over to playing football, they had trouble making that conversion. So I kind of had this mindset when I met you. I was thinking, let me see if this guy's going to be able to convert not only over to playing football from track, but also I knew at Arizona State he was a cornerback and not a wide receiver. I said, let me see if this guy can get it done.
Yeah,
and I was pleasantly surprised because what I found out with you, Ron, you were a football player that happened to run track and have world-class speed. But that conversion that you made to wide receiver from DB, how in the world did you do that?
What happened was my last year at Arizona State, we didn't have any receivers. So Coach Baker asked me will I go on the other side of the ball and help us on the other side of the ball because he had a few plays that he wanted to do. So I told him, sure, whatever it takes. So that's how I ended up over there. I only played over there like half the season. And I think I only had a couple catches. But it was fun though. It was fun. I realized I kind of like it over here. So I was drafted by Cleveland as a wide receiver, but the Raiders had called me the same time Cleveland called me, and Al wanted to have me as a defensive back.
Okay, so the Raiders wanted to sign you as a DB.
Yeah, the DB. Yeah. They actually called me before Cleveland called me, but it was Cleveland's pick.
Okay. Yeah. So now, which one did you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
That draft day is something else. Well, you got all kind of butterflies on that draft day because you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, you really don't. I know I had met with Case Stevenson of the Bills, and he told me, Tony, if you're available, we're going to take you with the 12th pick in the first round. And I was thinking, man, I'm just leaving South Bend, Indiana in this cold weather. I hope I'm not available for Buffalo. And but they did eventually end up drafting me. Now, Ron, which position did you prefer, DB or wide receiver?
And wide receiver.
Or kick returner.
Or kick returner.
Yeah, actually, probably kick returner or wide receiver though, because I'd rather be chased than chasing somebody.
I would say you have an advantage there, my friend.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, that's good.
We had some good times out there, T. We had a lot of fun out there, man, which was good.
Yes, we did. And we played in some big games. I can remember that NFC Championship game that we played the Chicago Bears up there in Chicago. And you know what, Ron? We had Henry Ellert on a couple of weeks ago. And he was saying, I don't know if you remember this, before that Bear game, we were out in warm-ups, and it was probably 60 degrees. By the time that game ended, we were playing in a snowstorm. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. No. I remember it well, though. I can't even think in cold weather, let alone play. I can't. It was so cold out there, man. It was incredible. It'd have been a situation had the weather been different. Whole different situation.
Yeah, that second half is when it really started snowing. That wind started to pick up, and they were already up at that time. And with that defense, we didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, that chill factor. Everybody, we came out in thermals and all kind of stuff. Dudes came out in T-shirts with their sleeves rolled up. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be a long day.
Exactly. But you ended up, I tell you what, I was looking at this, your stats. You ended up with 98 receptions. Tell me if I'm wrong. 98 receptions, 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, and You went to the Pro Bowl. It looks like you went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that year when we played them, I went that year.
Yeah, okay, that's you went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, see, the game to me was just fun, man. It was just a means to do something else. Because remember, I had my auto dealership at the same time, though. So
I bought some tires from you. You remember that? I bought 4 tires a set of rims is what I bought.
And you should have brought 4 sitting on something like a car or something. You should have bought that with the car. That's what you should have did. If I catch you, ain't too late.
That was the funny thing because I had been looking for rims forever, and I couldn't find the ones that I liked. So one day I was just riding around in Orange County. I said, let me go see what Ron's got over here. Jumped off the highway. As soon as I walked in, I saw these beautiful chrome rims. And I said, I want them. I forget how much I paid for them. They weren't cheap, by the way. But I ended up putting those things on my car, on my BMW, and I left them on there. I kept that car probably for about 14 years. So.
Wow. Yeah, I matter of fact, I sold a car to Ron Pitts, and he still has it from way back then.
Oh, is that right?
I ran into him at a golf tournament. He said, man, I still got that slant nose sports shoe. So I said, what?
And Ron, I brought those rims from California back then to Cincinnati, Ohio. It was all new. They had the chrome rims at that time. But this was something new for Cincinnati. And everybody, where did you get those rims from? My teammate Ron Brown sold them to me out in L.A. So.
We had some good time. But right now, what we're doing, T, is we got the NFL Retired Players Congress, man. That's really, really doing some great things for former players.
Right. Okay.
We're representing, all 19,000 former guys. So a lot of us, of course, about the concussion lawsuit that's going on. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to maintain the quality of life for guys after the game. So we have a Retired Players Congress program called Veterans Helping Veterans, and we're buying houses for homeless vets. I don't think we do enough for our military, so we're doing that too. We have like 3 houses right now. We'll make some announcements around Super Bowl about putting some vets in the house. And then we're doing assisted living housing for our guys, for our guys that are in trouble. We want to be able to have treatment and stuff. Putting medical clinics, we're dealing with
Excellent.
Yeah. And the key to this whole thing right now, T, is getting baseline, high school students, college students. That baseline is very important when you talk about concussions, back to work and back to play. We want to be able to make sure we get these kids back and get them back healthy again. Concussion is no joke, and it affects everybody differently. So definitely. Oh no, that concussion situation kind of makes you want to rethink things. But I wonder if even if we knew all the facts at the time we were deciding to play in the NFL, I don't think it would. What do you think? Do you think it would change your decision at that time? No, it wouldn't. Because it was something we loved to do. It was something that we knew. And back in the day, it was a way to get out the hood. But that's just what we did, and we would have done it for free. And that's one thing about careers and stuff. When you can do something for free and get paid for it, then you're in a beautiful situation. So the NFL is not really worried about finding 1,800 guys or so here to play the game.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do that. They're worried about
I agree.
Yeah, they're worried about the market abroad. London, Mexico now. They just got back from Israel. They're worried about those other countries like that because soccer is their number one game. So the concussion thing, when you're talking about the limited jobs that's available in concussion, like my son, he was our star running back here in our high school and he got a little football scholarship. But I said, listen, man, you don't worry about my journey. If you don't think you're going to get a check for this game, then you probably should rethink this game. You know what I mean?
Right.
But reality is it's only 1,800 jobs, 18,000 kids trying to get these jobs. If you're not out there doing something extra, like we've been blessed, man, to be able to play at that level of competition for as long as we did, man. That was a blessing.
No doubt about it. And once you play it, you realize just how competitive those jobs are.
Absolutely. You know, stuff that we just woke up, kind of took for granted, went and ran some route, caught a few balls, and high-five each other. You know, now looking back on it, it's like, you know what, this game ain't no joke. You know, it's high competition too, and because the NFL is a marketing, they're not a football organization, they're a marketing company. You know, and that's why, you know, all the conduct on and off the field, they're real particular about that. You know. Right.
Yeah, that's
they're paying more attention to spousal abuse than they are to concussion, and that's a little bit disturbing. You know, they have more money set aside for guys that's going through, you know, different type of spousal abuse. That's like number one on their list, and it's only because of the marketing dollars. That's attached to that though, because, you know, as soon as they say Ron Brown, that's okay, but when they say Ron Brown with the Los Angeles Rams, I'm gonna get cut. Because it's that tagline that gets people cut. You know, as long as Rice was out there by himself and him and his wife were dealing with it, that was okay. But when they put that Baltimore Ravens tag to him, then they had to do something. You know what I mean?
It was a problem. That kid hasn't played football since. I don't know if he'll ever get another chance to play football, to be honest with you.
No, that ship has sailed.
Wow. That's incredible. But let me ask you this, with that coming back to the LA Rams, and that situation is they are tough to watch right now. The Rams are tough to watch, but we have a new stadium that's coming out there, and you had mentioned that it's in Inglewood. Is that where the Forum was? What do you think about that location that the new stadium is going to be at?
Well, I've been working on both parties' locations for a while, though, because I was working with Ed Rossi, who was trying to put it in the city of industry, which is 20 miles, 30 miles outside of L.A.
Right.
The similar marketing strategy is the New York did from getting outside of New York, and similar marketing strategy as Jerry Jones did getting outside of Texas. And
Dallas, yeah.
So what they did was they went ahead and they for the Hollywood racetrack, so it's right next to the Forum.
Right. Okay.
Little tougher area, you know, because I'm from Inglewood. You know, we got probably about 20 gangs right there around that whole stadium right there.
Right. That's why I was so surprised they put it there. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
But Penn State going there, Penn State probably could spend north of $30 billion there. The city will come back alive. You know what I mean? And the prices on the houses around there is going to be ridiculous. You know,
yeah.
It's going to be an interesting move all the way to the 405 on the other side of 405, where you have Westchester going all the way to the airport, heading west, and then going back east all the way to the 110, going down north to USC, because USC has even talked about moving USC out to Irvine because of, you know, there's so much gangs going on in those areas too, though, and trying to keep these kids protected. But, you know, nevertheless, things are going to work out like they're going to work out, man, and money trumps everything else around here.
Right, and that's going to be a palace. That is going to be a $2.8 billion palace that they put out there, and I look forward to I'll be out there to catch some games, and that's for sure.
We're talking to Dan right now about, you know, and the Rams right now about putting a Raiders lounge there. So we are planning on having a sports lounge inside the stadium and doing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So our alumni will have some opportunities to bring some of our business partners out there and do that kind of thing. So we're trying to do a state of the art. The other thing we're doing with the Rams, though, out in another one of nearby cities, is we're going to build a sports complex out there. We're going to have volleyball, football, baseball, you know, doing those kind of sports, and they'll be all taught by former professional athletes. And it's going to give kids an equal playing field. And then we have esports stuff that we're doing too. We have a platform for esports to raise money for charity. So we got some really exciting things going on out here on the West.
Sounds like it. Really exciting. Keep me in mind, my friend. Keep me in mind.
I got you.
All right. I tell you what, when we were teammates with the Rams and just kind of flying around with Ron out in L.A. and going to certain functions, he knew everybody. I used to think to myself, this guy knows everybody in Los Angeles. So if there was one guy that they wanted to spearhead events like that in the Los Angeles area, Ron Brown would be the guy to do that because he knows everybody.
Uh-huh. Ron, how did you actually, I wanted to go back just a bit. How did you get involved with the veterans work and with the concussion protocol work? How did you get involved in that?
Well, I've been working with the vets out here at March Air Force Base for a little bit, though. Then, I just thought that it was just a need, man, just listening to some of the vets when they're coming home from the war and the suicide rate. We're losing 5 vets a day to suicide, and that's just the ones that they calculate. That's not counting the ones that just run their motorcycle to the back of a truck and stuff. And just after talking to some of these guys, man, I was like, there's no reason for these guys to want for anything when they out there trying to helping us live the way that we live it in peace.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when they left, they were kids. But some of these guys, they come back, man. One of the guys, he was only like 29 years old. He was about 60. And I was like, they were showing a video on him, and he was sitting in a room with me. I was like, man, that dude had a rough day. He goes, man, that's me. I go, that's you?
Wow.
Wow. He said, and that was one of my better days. I'm like, wow. So
wow.
Man, yeah. He really do something with these guys, man, and help them so that they shouldn't have to want for anything, man, especially housing. We got over 130, 140 vets in San Bernardino County that are homeless, man. That makes no sense,
Wow. Wow. There's an interesting parallel between the vets that come back from war and the vets that leave the NFL. I don't know about you. I felt like it was a very tough transition leaving the NFL and going into the private sector. What about you? How did you feel about it? Was it a tough transition for you as well?
Well, it wasn't so tough for me, T, because I always did business while I was playing. Football really, the only thing I wish I would have focused more on football than I did, though. But I was, football was just a stepping stone for me. It was never I never looked at it as a career, though, because the life expectancy is only 3 years, 3.5 years,
right.
3 years, So I said, well, you can't really do a whole lot in that time, and I try to tell the guys now going into the game, I go, look, man, don't be fighting against the former players. Don't look at us like, we messed up our money. So the challenge that the NFL has, and I tell people that all the time because they try to make it look like, oh, you guys made this money, you guys don't know how to manage the money. I go, no, it's a formula. And this is my own personal opinion. There's a formula for failure and there's a formula for success. 2 baby mamas, a divorce, and a bad investment, your uncle's barbershop. You hit.
That's the formula for failure. No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah. So plus, in addition to that, we don't get our money to the second half of the season of the year, which is the second half of the tax. There's no reason to give a kid $16 million and $2 million a year salary. There's no reason for to get that. You don't know. I looked at money different at 55 than I looked at 22. Everything I had at 22 was a Ferrari, Porsche. You remember how I used to go to practice team?
Oh yeah.
Everything I got now is a 4-door. Even my Prius is a 4-door. You know what I mean? So I think that
right.
to get their money in benchmarks because there's nothing else that we're going to do to make $80,000 a month.
Right. Now that's one of the things that I did as far as I kind of let them spread my money out now with the Rams and with Buffalo. I never really took all of my salary that way, the way that a lot of these, you don't need $16 million in a site. You don't, tell them to hold that for another 10, 15 years, 5, 10, 15 years. That's when you'll need it. You don't need all of that right now.
No, that's the key. That's the key, T. Yeah. You have to be able to do that. Because now you've taken a 4-year career and you stretch it out 14, 15. My agent did that for me because I was making money.
Did he? I had a teammate with the Bills that told me about that, and I'm surprised he's Lyman. He said, "Now we've gone halfway through the season, and I'm sure you set money. Why? You don't need to take all the rest of that money and get taxed on it. Have them push it back." And so I kept doing that each year. Each year they would push it back, and 10, 15 years after I had left the game, I was still getting a check, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, that was smart, T. And those are the kind of things, the kids now, they need to kind of understand that too, though, because it's really just the same game. Things have just changed. Instead of buying the $200 Gators, they buying the $2,000 Gators. Instead of buying the Mercedes-Benz, they buying the Ferraris and the Bentleys. It's still the same.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's zeros. That's all it is.
Right.
And they still have the same financial challenges later on as some of the guys that we played with had during. So.
No doubt about it. It's just that they're making more dollars. They're making more dollars, but same situation. I agree.
Yeah, more than
I'm going to step in here, you guys, since you mentioned you got to get a few dollars because we've got to get a few dollars for this show, hopefully. So I'm going to throw in a commercial right here. We can take a 1-minute break, I think it is, and we'll be back. You still have a few more minutes, Tony? Ron?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine.
All right, let's take this break, and we'll be right back.
Okay, let's get right to it. Do you want an easy gift idea good all year round? Or maybe you just like to keep a steady supply of quality crafted microbrews delivered directly to your door? Either way, The Grueling Truth has a solution for you. Go to thegruelingtruth.net/beer to learn how you can join up with the Craft Beer Club and get the best American beers you've never heard of sent direct to you or that beer drinker on your gift list. The Craft Beer Club discovers exceptional craft brews from around the country and delivers them direct to you or your gift recipient. Every selection is produced by independent microbrewers employing traditional ingredients and time-honored brewing methods. Best of all, with the Craft Beer Club, there is no membership fee, no obligation, and any subscription may be canceled at any time. Choose from monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly to get the right amount of great beer to stock your fridge or someone else's. So help The Grueling Truth help you to fantastic beer year-round. Visit thegruelingtruth.net/beer and join the club, the Craft Beer Club.
U.S. delivery addresses only. Please enjoy Craft Beer Club products responsibly.
Okay, we're back. You're listening to the LA Rams 2.0 show here at thegruelingtruth.net. I'm Oz Davis. I'm with my co-host Tony Hunter and with our guest Ron Brown. Ron, we were gonna. I think we were gonna get to it before. I think Tony was trying to get you to it before, but of course we went off the rails as all good podcasts do. You're back out here in Los Angeles, Ron. I'm sure you've paid a lot of attention to the Rams this season. You told me before the show that you were at the game on Saturday. You want to give us your thoughts? And we can blip out anything too hardcore. As PG as you can keep your language.
I know, man. I'm over it right now. You know what I mean? It was
okay.
They started off good. They just got to play 4 quarters, though. They started off good, and the fortunate part for me was that 49ers. The only win they had this year was against the Rams. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And they beat them up bad back then. I was like, wow, that's terrible.
We covered that game, Ron. Yeah, I remember. We covered that game.
Yeah. So and then to come with this one, though, we got them for 3 quarters and they end up losing the last quarter. I'm thinking that was all bad, though. But they got to make some changes, though. They're not doing the best that they can do with the players that they have on the field, and there's no sense of urgency with some of the guys on the field that's participating right now. They're not having fun.
What do you think about Goff? What are your feelings on Goff? Is he the guy?
Well, no, I don't think he's. He wouldn't even play for some of the teams I've been watching this year play. I think that he needs to work on his work ethic. So I went to a couple of practices and stuff, and I was watching him pass and reps to other running backs like he didn't need it. And I said back then, he's not the right guy. Wow. He ain't no Dickerson. You know what I mean? And they were trying to give him that little comparison. I was like, nah, he's not that. He don't have. He might have been who he was in college, but he might have had a great year last year on 12 games of the year before. But no, he's not the guy. And you can't blame everything on the line. You know what I mean? Because I watched some opportunities where he could have made something out of something and just didn't. So,
Yeah. Gurley was.
He got a chance to see the best, one of the best of all times. Eric Dickerson every day, up close and personal. So.
Yeah, I mean, Dick had a line though. He had Big Jackie and Dennis Harrah and all that. He had guys that took big Panky and all them Smith and all. He had some guys in front of him. That
right. 3 or 4 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line.
Yeah, that they were going to make sure that that they were going to get to the second level. You know what I mean? And then they're going to have the safeties in the head, too, if they come picking their head in there, too, though. But these dudes right now.
And see, that's where I don't think Gurley has that. I don't think he has the offensive line. And I think Jared Goff, the quarterback, the number 1 overall pick, is running into that same issue. No offensive line, and he's just getting killed back there. The last game I watched him in, I mean, he was a mess. His uniform was a mess by the third quarter because of all the sacks and the knockdowns. So,
but but that's when I watched that too, though, Tito, and I saw the receivers weren't getting open. I mean, they don't run routes like we ran routes, man. These dudes just run to get open. It's almost like 11-on-11 street football with these dudes. I mean, they run to an area, you know what I mean, and none of them come back to the ball. So I'm thinking, well, one of them was kicked, but some of his picks because of the way he was running, you know what I mean? All the picks aren't blamed on him, but to his credit, he holds the ball too long. You know.
Okay.
He need to watch real good film on Brady. You know what I mean? Brady getting rid of that ball between 2 and 4 seconds. Backpedal Brady. He needs to get rid of the tight end needs to be his friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get in a situation where he can get rid of that ball quick, get it out of his hand. You know, because I was watching him the other day. I was watching him get rid of the ball, and he was throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It's like, first down, he throw a pass, and now it's, 2nd and 11. I'm like, how you do that?
Yeah.
How you throw a pass down the field and be 2nd and 11?
Yeah, I mean, and what's weird is, here's a guy who's holding on to the ball like 3 times as long as Brady is, and yet the Rams have fewer plays of over 20 yards this season.
Right.
So what's he waiting for here? It's and it's not just him, of course, because these statistics include, the man we started our season with. So it's like, I think you're right. I think these guys are just not getting open.
And not getting open.
Yeah.
I was watching them. Yeah. I was watching them. They're not getting open. Even they running down the field with their hands up, but I'm like, you can't throw that ball. You ain't open.
Right. I don't know if Kenny Britt made the Pro Bowl this year, but he was probably the only bright spot that I saw all year long as far as a receiver. And I mean, I don't think he could compare to what we had when I was with the Rams with you and Henry Ellett as wide receivers. They just it doesn't even compare.
Oh no, we had Flipper out there, we had Aaron Cox out there, but we had you, we had David Hill, and we was gonna give Dickerson the ball 40 times. Receivers just had to really block.
Right. Right. No.
Because Dick was gonna be on your heels in a minute. Get out there.
Yeah.
So, but we had a good combination, and the game has changed from when we played to now. They throw the ball 70% of the time. Back then, we ran 70%.
Right. Wouldn't that have been nice to be a receiver and get the ball thrown to you that much? I tell you, I went through a career of wanting to be in an offense like that. He had Notre Dame with Buffalo and with the Rams. I tell you, just wanted to be in an offense that focused on throwing the football, but it never happened.
I know. Right now, they'd have put you out wide, though. You'd have been out wide right now, though. They got
Probably so. I was out wide up in Notre Dame for a while. I was my first 2 years I played wide receiver up there, and then
they spread you with the Rams a little bit too, though. They spread you a little bit with the Rams. They want to get you out there. I saw.
Yeah, they did. But you know what, Ryan? If I have one regret in the NFL, is that I never was healthy when I was with the Rams. The Rams called me, it was during the offseason, on a Friday, and said, we just made a trade for you. We sent Vince Ferragamo to Buffalo along with a second-round pick. We want you out here Monday morning. It's on a Friday during the offseason. I said, okay, they'll work me in the camp slow. Okay, so Monday I get out there at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I get to Ram Park out in Anaheim, and they're practicing. Kevin Green, Mike Wiltshire, those guys, it's the first week the rookies are supposed to be in camp. I'm getting in pads just from the airport. They put me in pads. I go out there. We do a reach drill. I mean, it's physical. That first day I'm out there, twisted my knee, do a reach drill, and they misdiagnosed it. They thought it was just kind of a strain or whatever. Keep the muscles around the kneecap strong. Well, after I played 2 years keeping the muscles around the kneecap strong, I finally had to get a second opinion, and it was torn meniscus in my knee, and they ended up having to do a much more complicated surgery than they would have had they diagnosed it correctly in the first place. So, but that was the NFL back then. That was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the way the NFL was. And we didn't really have the luxury at that time of having a second opinion without your job being threatened. I can remember, I think it was last year, Ben Roethlisberger left the Pittsburgh Steelers during summer camp because something was bothering him. And he wanted to get a second opinion from his doctor, his personal doctor, and he left summer camp. I said, man, oh, man, times have changed, because if we had left summer camp to get a second opinion, you may not have a job once you got back during our time.
No, you wouldn't have. They would keep going.
No question. Okay, well, I'll let you get out of here, Ron. I just wanted to ask you one more question. Back in '84 at the Olympics, you were on that gold medal relay team. I just wanted to ask you, where's your medal now? Do you ever break it out and wear it around, or show it off or anything?
No, I don't break it out, wear it around. I gave it to my mom. She put it in a case.
Oh.
And it just kind of stays there, though. But
wow.
the gold medal was good, though. But the main thing to that whole little situation for me was we broke a world record. That was the key.
Yeah.
We knew that.
And that was in Los Angeles. That was in '84, correct, Ron?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was in your hometown. And this is my last question. I wanted to ask, what was it like to be in your hometown with the Olympics there in L.A. and you winning a gold medal? What was that like?
Man, it was a dream come true, man, and that's what I tell kids all the time. It's always good to live your dreams. You know what I mean, and that's why choices are so important, so we don't turn our dreams into nightmares. But yeah, no, that was a dream come true right there. T. God is good.
Oh yeah, I bet. I can only imagine that, being in the hometown and being on a world stage like that, and to actually come through. You were the second leg on that 4x100 team. Is that correct, Ron?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was some unbelievable. That was an unbelievable Olympics for this country. So it's a great time.
Yeah, something mere mortals like myself can only dream of, Ron. I tell you, you have lived the life.
Definitely have.
Also, thanks a bunch for joining us today, Mr. Ron Brown, joining myself, Oz Davis, and Tony Hunter here on the LA Rams 2.0 show.
Hey, Ron, I really appreciate it, man. We had a blast. Thank you.
You got it, T. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
all
thanks
right.
for joining us. I'll sign off for us then. Tony, we're going to do at least one more of these before the season ends, right? Even though the Rams are out. We're
yeah. You know what? I have a couple of other teammates that I want to talk to about trying to get it in before the season's out. But, we'll keep it going.
All right, then. Well, stay tuned for more LA Rams 2.0 show here at thegruelingtruth.net. For this week, for myself and my co-host Tony Hunter, we are out of here. Enjoy the games and go Rams.
Go Rams.
not going 7-9.
You're fired. Get out of here. Get out of here. Please.